Hello, I'm Adrian. Now, I'm not the kind of person who likes to self-promote or to blow his own trumpet too much. I find that kind of thing all a bit embarrassing, if I'm honest. But it has been brought to my attention that I've recently surpassed 100,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel. Now, I know that compared with some of the big YouTube guitar channels, that's a fairly modest achievement, and certainly compared with some of the YouTube superstars, it's absolutely nothing. But for me, it's a fairly significant milestone. And what I thought I'd do in this video is to talk a little bit about my channel. I'm going to thank you all for being such a lovely audience, and I'm also going to look at an appropriate song. So I will be getting to some music, I promise, but there will also be a little bit of talking. So if you're one of those people that likes to comment, "Too much talking, get to the point, Adrian," then you might like to fast forward or go and watch something else entirely. So I just had to check this, but apparently I started this channel on the 1st of April 2013. So it's been going 5 or 6 years or so. And I suppose it's been quite a slow and steady growth. I started out doing this just as a way of promoting myself as a teacher and for getting people to come to me for private lessons. But I now am at the stage where I'm making some money directly from doing these videos. And it's not quite a full-time job for me just yet. I still have to do some other music work and some other teaching work, but it's certainly heading in that direction. I suppose I possibly could have grown this channel faster and made more money from it, but I'm pleased that I've got to where I've got to by doing things on my own terms and really just doing whatever I feel like doing. I've got no social media strategy, I've got no business plan, I don't analyse my YouTube statistics to try and chase views. I really just do what I feel like doing. Anyway, here we are, and I am now, I suppose, that very 21st century thing, a YouTuber, and that's something I never thought I'd find myself saying, and I'm still struck by the ridiculousness of this whole thing on quite a regular basis. The fact that I come in here, mess about on a guitar, make these little videos, and then have thousands of people around the world watch them. But having said that, I'm very grateful that I'm able to do this and to have such a great audience and to get such great feedback from all of you. Well, that's quite enough about me. Now, you may or may not know that the title of this channel, Anyone Can Play Guitar, is a nod to a certain Radiohead song. Now, I'm not sure exactly what Mr. York is saying lyrically in this one. It's possibly a satire on the pompousness of rock stars, I think. But for me, the phrase "anyone can play guitar" sums up quite nicely a kind of democratic and punky attitude to this instrument, which I really like. There are still some players, some teachers even, who like to mystify this instrument, but I've always been a big believer that if you want to learn to play guitar, then you should just do it. Attitude and passion are by far the most important things, and you should ignore those people who like to tell you that you must play a certain thing in a certain way. Technique, scales, tone, gear, none of that stuff matters. Actually, maybe it matters a little bit, but not quite as much as some people would like to have you think. So I thought it would be fun to look at the song Anyone Can Play Guitar itself. Now, I have to confess that I don't particularly like this song. Am I allowed to say that? Thousands of Radiohead fans outraged. It's not even true, strictly speaking. I think it's a decent indie song, but I think this song and the sound of early Radiohead, it's the sound of a young band trying to find what they're all about, and they would obviously go on to far greater things. Now, the problem is I don't actually know how to play this song yet, so bear with me. I'm going to figure this song out, and then I'm going to come back, play it for you, and try and teach it to you. Okay, I'm back. I think I've got it, or at least I've got the gist of how the song goes. It's a quite chaotic, messy recording at times, and you've got 3 guitar players in Radiohead, all of them going pretty mental on this song. So I don't think it's the kind of song that you'll be able to reproduce note for note, nor should you really want to do that. But there's quite a lot of interesting stuff going on in this song, so let's do it. you'll notice I've had to make a quick guitar change. I managed to totally my Telecaster just now by playing in too strident a manner, I think, and now it doesn't seem to be working at all, so I'll need to get that fixed. But never mind, the Mustang is very nice guitar as well. Let's get into this song then, and as I said, it's 3 guitars all doing quite mental and different things, so it's really a difficult one to get to the bottom of what's going on note for note, and I think it's kind of unnecessary with a song like this. So I'll give you the general idea of what's going on. You can take that and then maybe try and do it your own way. Now let's kick off with the verse in the key of E minor for this song. The verse is actually in E minor, and then for the chorus it switches to the relative major key, which is G major. Now the essence of the verse of this song is really just E minor, which is held for 2 bars, and then we've got a couple of bars on C or C7 of some kind. So you play the E minor and you mostly just let that chord hang. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just playing a normal open position E minor chord. You could throw in a D note as well, make it an E minor 7. I think I can sometimes hear that. Then we're changing to C or C7, and you've got a few options here. It's quite hard to hear exactly what's going on. It's really just making a bit of noise at this point in the song. So one of the guitars seems to just be doing mostly open strings. So in that kind of rhythm, you could play a C chord here or a C7. I think I was playing a C7 up here at the 8th fret. So this is fret numbers are 8, 10, 8 and 9 from low to high, and sliding down. And I think I also did this just now. So this is a lovely dissonant sound here. I'm playing the 15th fret on the G, and then just letting the open 2 top strings ring out as well. You could play the 14 on the D if you wanted to as well. Horrible, but horrible in a lovely way kind of a sound, that, I think. So at that point where you want the C or the C7, it really just makes some noise. Another guitar just seems to be kind of sliding up and down the neck, so it's all pretty random. Don't be afraid to just make some noise. So that's really the verse of the song. The other bit that stands out is this nice little lead guitar lick, which goes like this. And I believe this is played by Ed O'Brien. It's just a nice little hook, I suppose. I'm playing all of this on the B string. We've got 11th fret, 13, then coming down to the 8th fret, maybe bending that slightly sharp as well. And the first time that's all that's played. Then the second time it's a bit longer, but the same notes just repeated really. So we're then on into the pre-chorus of the song, and the basic chords we've got here are these. We've got it's just a D, then to A minor, and then to this, which is kind of a G over B type of a sound. I've just got the 2nd fret on the A string, open D and G, and I'm also playing the 1st fret on the B string as well. And then that's leading us to C, so it's kind of a walk up to a C, I suppose. And then we're just holding that C chord for a couple of bars. Now whilst that is happening, you've got the lead guitar. I think this is Johnny Greenwood, and he's playing this nice kind of frenzied octaves part, this kind of thing that he does so well, and that goes a bit like this. We've got This is all played using octaves on the A and the G string. So if you play any note on the A string and you skip a string and then play a note 2 frets higher on the G, you've got this octave sound. So what he's actually playing here, I'm just going to give you the fret numbers that I'm playing on the A string, and then the notes on the G string will just follow in octaves. So we've got the 9th fret, and then 10 and 12, and then we're coming back down 10 and 9. So 9, 10, 12, 10, 9. And he's playing this with a really fast down up tremolo picking kind of thing going on in the strumming hand. So just strum frenziedly up and down as fast as you can, basically. Then we're coming down to the 7th fret, and then 9, and then 10, 12, and I think that bit is a bit more relaxed. I can't really hear the tremolo picking there. It's more this kind of rhythm. And then we're coming up to the 14th fret and the 16th fret, back to the tremolo picking thing. And it sounds really good if you just give that whole shape a little bit of a bend. You can bend the A string, and in particular you can bend the G string as well. It just all goes out of tune and sounds nice and dissonant. And that then leads us into the chorus. And the chorus is quite nice and simple, just a nice kind of indie strummed chord part. It goes like this. We've got So we're starting off, as I say, it's going to the relative major key now, G major. We're starting off with this G chord. I'm just playing 3rd fret on the low E string, muting the A string, open D and G, and then holding down the 3rd fret on the B string. You could hold down the 3rd fret on the top string as well if you wanted to. And then we're just dropping the bass note to an F sharp, so we've got this descending bass line going on here. Then we're going down to an E minor 7. This is kind of like the Wonderwall chord, I suppose, you've got here. So open 2, 2, open 3, 3 on top as well if you wanted to. And you can just about hear a little walk up in the bass there. One of the guitars is doing that. You could just stay on the E minor there if you wanted to. Then we're really doing the same thing, but the bass note is now on the A string. So we've now got kind of a C add 9, that's 3 on the A string, muting the D, open G string, 3 on the top 2 strings, walking the bass down, and then I'm coming to some kind of A sus4 or A7 sus4, so open 2, 2, 3, or open 2, open 3, whichever you prefer. Can walk back up again. Then we've just got D, this kind of C add 9 to G, E minor 7 again, and then D. Throw in a little bit of D sus4 there if you wanted to. We go around again. second time round, that anyone can play guitar bit, we're just going we've got D, this kind of C shape or C add 9, walking the bass down, 3-2 open, and pushing into a G. E minor 7, D, and the chorus wraps up with a kind of D sus4. So you've got the G, F sharp, open E melody on top there. And then we're leading into a little instrumental break with this. We've just got an open A string and then G, F sharp, E on the low E string. So that's the chorus. I'm just going to play that through for you slowly. You can just play that with a down up kind of a strum. You could play it with an all down stroke feel if you wanted to, but just slowly the chorus goes like this. So that leads us into a nice little instrumental section, goes like this. And that starts off, as I just explained, we've got that A, G, F sharp, E, and then we're just walking up the low E string. So we've got E, F sharp, G, A sharp, and then we've got A, G sliding into the F sharp. We repeat that again, and then A, G, E. So all of that slowly. We've got then we're really playing a similar thing but higher. We're going so I'm bending at the 3rd fret on the B string, and I'm also allowing the open top string to ring, releasing the bend, then 1st fret on the B, open B string, onto the G string we've got open 2 and 3, and then we've got a pull off from the 2nd fret to the open G string, and then a little slide up to the 3rd fret, and we're repeating that another time, and then 2 pull off and then 2 on the D string. So all of that high bit is that takes us on into the 2nd verse, much the same as the first verse. There's some different kind of noises and things. At one point it gets quite scratchy on the guitars, so just mute all of the strings with your fretting hand, and then you're strumming kind of 8th notes or 16th notes with your strumming hand. On into a 2nd chorus, which is the same as before, and I think the only other bit that's worth talking about is that 2nd little instrumental section, and it's quite an interesting arrangement. We've got a pre-chorus, but then rather than immediately going to a chorus, there's an instrumental bit played over the pre-chorus chord, so it's like a double pre-chorus, I suppose. So that double pre-chorus goes roughly like this. It's more of that frenzied tremolo picking stuff. It starts off doing exactly the same thing as the first pre-chorus, then it goes a bit higher and gets even more frenzied. So let me attempt this. We've got something like that. It's quite hard to reproduce. So it starts off exactly the same way. How did that go? So we get to the 14th fret on the A string, which is where we left off before. It goes even higher to the 17th and the 19th frets, and then it seems that it goes onto the G and the high E strings. That there might be a couple of different layers of guitars, one low and one high here, but I'm hearing it as this. We've got an octave again here. We've got the 19th fret on the G and then the 22nd fret on the high E string. And you can just change that top note. You can go from 22 to 20. It gives you that kind of sound. And then you're just walking your way down from there, really. So which takes us into another chorus. So that roughly is how you play Anyone Can Play Guitar. Now you know how to play the title track of my YouTube channel, as it were. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank all of my wonderful subscribers. Whether you've just signed up or whether you've been with me since the start, thank you all for your support. Thanks for the kind and interesting comments. Thanks for the general good vibes that I get from all of you. Hope you all continue to enjoy my videos. I shall see you next week. Bye bye.